All right, guys, so my next step is to make a mandible. So I have my surface here, but it got a little wet, so I'm just gonna dry it off a little bit. Perfect. All right, so I have my surface here and I've wedged this ball of clay already, and I'm just going to kind of slowly squeeze this piece between my hands in a spinning motion. Right, I'm not just staying in one spot, I'm constantly spinning it. I'm not going too thin, right? Keeping it somewhat thick. I'm gonna roll it slightly to get rid of some of those marks that I made when I did my pinching. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pound it down. So now I've essentially made a slab of clay. So a slab of clay is a piece of clay that has been rolled out, or as I showed you, pounded out. You can also hit things on the table to make them thinner. If you do it at a certain angle, you're able to pull and make things a little bit longer as well as you work. I could have done this with a bigger coil, which is what I made originally, if I wanted to, but that wasn't necessary for this step. And so I'm using this slab here to make my jaw. So I'm gonna grab my skull. All right, and I'm gonna remove my donut for a second because I'm gonna move my donut where I'm holding it with my donut. Okay, so I have my donut now holding up my head, and I'm looking at my head. We're basically eye to eye. All right, so I'm kind of looking at my head right now and seeing if anything needs to be removed. It's possible a little bit here, but I'm going to leave it for now. All right, so this is basically the top of my jaw, right? I'm probably gonna remove about like this much from it. Yeah, I'll just remove it now so I can make that. So I just removed this. This is for me. This is just a me thing. If you do have too much material there, you may remove it at any time. Okay, so now I have that top jaw poking out there, and I want to make my bottom jaw. So I'm going to use this piece of coil that I made into, let me see, this slab here. And I'm just gonna try and basically check to see what I need to make this jaw. All right, so I know it needs to be basically in a rectangle that goes into a fold that goes upward. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to look and see where I should cut it. All right, so I've cut it off. So this is basically going to be a couple pieces. So I've cut off this chin area. All right, and I'm kind of forming it slightly. All right, so that's there. And then I want to add some more of this slab to connect it to the face. And that's going to be going upward. So from this one going this way, I want the next one to go this way. Right? So almost like, let's see, what's an example for this? Well, I mean, you're looking at it, so I'll just leave it like that. So you're gonna have it kind of joining this way. All right, so now I have this idea. I need to go up to exactly where I want. I'm most likely going to make this smaller, but I'm just going to now cut this. I just basically measured by eye from the face here to my piece of clay. I'm also noticing that I need to have a slight angle so that this will fit into place. So my jaw will fit into place if I have that angle. All right, So I'm gonna do another one of these, so I can just basically go on here and trace it, right? And do a similar angle for this side of the face. All right, so we're getting closer. So basically right now I have this part here and this part here. Wait, let's see, how do they fit? They fit this way. Okay. All right, so I'm moving my skull for a second here. All right, and I have my pieces set up. Well, we talked about this a little bit when I went over how to make your donuts to sit your heads on. So what you're gonna do is you're going to cut your clay at an angle in each of the corners where you're gonna attach them to each other. The reason is this is a stronger joint than if I was just going to attach a square piece to a square piece. So whenever I'm attaching areas like that are folded or bent, I like to make at least a little indent or even just cut out a slice, like a slice of cake, so that they fit into each other properly. Okay, so there's this guy here. And I have to remember to score. You can go there. You can go. I got a visitor. Oh, looking for my water. I'm gonna add some water first this time and do some scoring. Excuse the door. I got a studio mate, everyone. It's not just me in here. Okay, so I'm going to then apply pressure and make that jaw attach to the other one. And as you can tell, this clay is very soft. So if your clay is very soft, you may have to put it out in the sun for a second to set up before you do much more to it, right? So this is basically a couple steps. It's never just one step. Okay. So this one's ready, that one's ready. There we go. I just have to do the scoring on this side. I have to put some water, forgot the water part. Water, a little extra scoring. That side. They're about the same consistency, so it's not too important that I amazingly score it, but I'm trying. All right, once I push them together, I want to start smoothing out where they are connected. And because I want this to have some strength to it, I'm actually gonna make some little coils, some little wormies. And I'm going to put them in the crevice here of where these, so here's what it looks like. Right, it's super wet right now. You could wait a little bit longer and work with these when they're a little more leather hard, but it's just the curvature is hard to get when it's too leather hard. So you kind of just have to work with what you got and the timing with these. I'm gonna add another coil behind the same bend on this side. Make sure everything is attached. When you add coils where you score, it's very easy to make sure that your joints are attached, because it's like a second defense against non-attached joints. Okay, so now I have this going on. It's not perfect, but it definitely will do the job until I'm able to let it set up a little bit. So here's my jaw, it's ready to go. It looks really silly, and it's gonna be made thinner once it's set up more, just so that it has a little bit more stability. I'm giving my jaw a thicker chin at the moment, but it will be adjusted, I will tell you. Okay, so I will go do that, and then I will come right back. All right, everyone, last couple minutes of this video. So now that I've gotten this far, I've made my mandible here. I'm going to attach it to my head, depending on if I'm ready or not. I'm going to remove some of my skeleton, or my sphere that I made. I'm going to use my fettling knife when I finally find it. It's here somewhere. It's okay, I have many. Okay. Oops. Just fixing you guys. Cool. Alright, so I'm going to cut this section out of my skull. I just don't need the section. Pull that out. All right. It's pretty funny from my angle. It looks like it's smiling. Okay, so now I have this to add. All right. I'm gonna check where it's gonna go. I'm going to mark it. It's still pretty wet, so I'm not going to attach it today, but I'm going to mark it. I'm also going to kind of give myself an idea of where I want to cut this guy out a little bit. But I'm not going to cut him out until it's a little bit more set up. I'm going to attach it. I'm going to go in here, add the teeth, but this is your next step to add that jaw. All right. Happy creating, everyone. Ah! I have the worst tripod.